colds and flu. So what can Chinese medicine do for colds and flus? Because we're coming into the flu season in where I'm living in Perth.
I think I'm getting the black lung, Bob.
How do we look at treating colds and flus in Chinese medicine? And if we look at how we do it in herbs, it'll help you understand how you can do it in foods for yourself at home. Now, I just want to say that foods are good if you're doing it in the first 1 or 2 days of being sick, or the first half a day of being sick. Like, you may be able to catch it in time. But if you don't, then again, go and see a practitioner and get them to give you the proper herbs made up for you, like that specifically balanced formula. So when you get sick with a cold, cold comes into your body and it usually invades in your body in the neck first, the back of your head. That's the Taiyang area of your body, the Taiyang channels. And so what happens is cold contracts. And so you feel cold, as in when people are cold, they rug up, they feel chilly. They might actually have the shivers and they might feel like, I want to put more clothes on. So that's the first symptom that you might notice, that you just feel more cold than usual. Now, if you have a nice heated place that you, like, let's say you have a nice heated workplace and you think, why am I so cold? Like, I really feel the cold. Like, you want to put more jackets on, and you look around the room and everyone doesn't have their jacket on. That's different to like being in a freezing place and lots of people are putting jackets on everywhere.
With the jacket off, jacket on, jacket off, jacket.
Or just being too cold because you don't have enough clothes to cope with the environment. So getting sick with these kinds of illnesses, with cold and flu illnesses, is an inability of our body to cope with the environment. So the environment's cold and somehow it invaded you because there was like a little chink in your armor in a way, and it kind of got in and made you and caused that contraction. And so your body contracts, and so what happens is the muscles and the tendons kind of get tight, and that causes the body aches, and you feel like, some people feel shivers and body aches, and often a tight back of the neck. It might not even be a headache yet, it might just be a tight back of the neck, and that'd be the first day. And quite often this is really accompanied by just a feeling of tiredness. So you just like a feeling of unusual tiredness. But if you're just more unusually tired than you normally would be, and you also feel cold, then the first thing I would do is go and grab something pungent to eat, right? So pungent is what we use in herbs to open the pores, basically make you sweat. So in Chinese herbal medicine, we use herbs like ginger. The one I just showed you is the dried ginger. So normally we use the fresh ginger. Now you can just go down to your local supermarket and buy some fresh ginger. Just keep a little knob of fresh ginger in your fridge in case this happens. And then you would just cut up like about 5 slices of that fresh ginger with a little bit of sugar. So a little bit of a teaspoon of honey is good, or a teaspoon of brown sugar. So you need that sweet flavor in there to kind of help it work. And then steep that in some hot water. If you can, put it on the stove and just bring it to the boil a little bit so it gets as much of that ginger flavor out of it as you can. And you can sip on that tea. So drink a whole cup of that tea, and then if you still don't feel warm, then drink another cup of that tea. And then you could have something small to eat, and especially something that's got a lot of pungent flavor in it. So you could have a curry. Now, a lot of people know this because they're just like, these are like how home remedies kind of start. You could have a little bit of curry. You could have spring onions. So that's good, and that's also a pungent flavor, but it's not really a hot pungent flavor. It doesn't do a lot in terms of like making you hot so that then you have to sweat. And that's really what you want to do. Now, when you're doing this, you don't want to be exposed. Like, you don't want to take your jackets off. You want to keep yourself warm. Put another blanket on if you're at home. It might look a bit weird sitting at your desk at work with a blanket over your head. But keep yourself as warm as you can. And then the job is of the herbs that you've taken, the ginger or the cinnamon drink or the curry that you've had, is to kind of make your body warmer inside. It increases your heart rate a little bit, and so that then your body has to sweat. Now, a lot of people use also sweating from exercise to treat colds and flus. Is this a good thing or is it not a good thing? I've seen people on Facebook recently, just friends of mine that I've noticed, put this question like, I've got a cold, what do I do? And someone said, go to the gym and sweat it out. Now, there is a little bit of wisdom in that, right? Just because the thing I just said to you about, yes, okay, if you can make yourself warm and sweat a little bit, then that would be the treatment in Chinese medicine. So you're kind of replicating that with foods. When you do this at the gym, there's 2 other things that happen. One is you are exercising, so you're expending energy. So if you just take the herbal formula or you take a cup of ginger drink, then you're not really expending any energy. You're just kind of relaxing and, conserving your energy. Whereas if you go to the gym to get up a sweat, then you've expended a bit of energy, and that might just push you a bit too much over the edge and make it harder to recover. The second thing is you may sweat so much that you can't stop sweating enough, like you can't stop sweating quick enough. And that's a big problem with once you start sweating. If a person then sweats too much, then it depletes them, and especially if they're getting sick already. And then the third thing about going to the gym is when you exercise, and where do you go after that place of exercise? So you go into the gym, it's nice and warm in there, you warm up, you do your exercise. Now this could be when you've got a cold or a flu, or just at any time. And then, like, let's say you're in a hurry. I see tons of people do this in the gym. They finish, they don't have a shower, they just run out to their car and go in the car. Now, if it's freezing, if it's very cold outside, so you've gone from a warm environment and you've got all this sweat on your skin, you've got your pores open, and a lot of people don't even put like a jumper on. They just run to their car, or they walk to their car or something like that. And then what can happen is the environment has got, like, the pores of your body are like this gate saying, don't penetrate, don't come in. Well, the pores are open, so the gate's open, and then the cold can kind of come in very easily through that, and then you can get even sicker if you already were a bit sick, or you can just you can get sick. And you can get sick also just from in that aspect. The cold can get into the muscle, and you can actually get like a wry neck, you can get like a pulled neck, or you can get a sore shoulder. So I don't know if you've ever woken up in the mornings. This happens a lot in summertime actually, where people wake up with a stiff neck because they've been sleeping in the wind and sleeping with the fan on, or they've slept with the window open, and the wind has come in and gotten onto their neck. So protecting yourself from the wind is a big one in Chinese medicine. So if you can wear a scarf, you can kind of protect yourself from the wind. That will help immensely to kind of prevent getting sick or getting worse when you're kind of a little bit sick. It's human nature that we do that, but then it's also Western society that kind of says, oh no, you must soldier on, you must work harder, and don't take any time off, and just keep going.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
And so then you don't give your body any chance to relax or to rest, and so then it can sometimes get worse. I hope these tips have been helpful to you. I can't stress enough the importance of coming to a Chinese herbalist to get that proper diagnosis, so that you can get the right herbs exactly for that condition. And there's plenty of evidence-based medicine to back up the use of Chinese herbal medicine for cold and flus. And this is dating right back to the Han Dynasty, and these are formulas like that we still use today. It's like the oldest amount of evidence that we have to treat those things. So these are formulas that we would use like that have been sort of tried, tested, and true. How can you help yourself in winter? How can you be healthier in winter? Winter's a really a season where often, yes, we get sick with colds and flus, and I can't encourage people enough that if they want to get better quickly, then go and see your practitioner and get that individual diagnosis, and see where exactly the practitioner will be able to see where they can help you, what they can help you with. Acupuncture is very good at alleviating pain-related symptoms that often are associated. So